Welcome to episode 35 of the Cohesive Home Podcast. Today we're talking about dreams, but not in the way you may think.
Yes, we are talking about the value of kids' dreams. So whether your own kids' dreams or the dreams you had when you were little, if there is one thing we've learned through this Cohesive Home journey, it's that dreams matter.
But first, a word from today's sponsor. Have you ever tried a Kind bar? You may have seen them in your local grocery store, coffee shop, or gym. They make delicious, healthy snacks using whole ingredients you can actually recognize and pronounce.
And since my kids are gluten-free, it's one of the few bars I've always kept in my bag to keep the hunger at bay.
My mom actually stashes them in her cupboard at her house because she knows that we all love them and that we can all eat them. So if you're ready to try some tasty and healthy snacks, we've got a special deal for our Cohesive Home listeners. You can try 10 Kind bars for free, and all you have to do is pay the shipping. When you order the sample box, you'll also get to try Kind Snack Club, where you'll receive monthly snacks at a discount and get members-only bonuses.
You shouldn't have to choose between your health and taste when it comes to snacking. That's why both award-winning chefs and nutritionists love and recommend Kind bars. You know, I tried their 10 snack sample box, and my favorite is the almond and coconut. It has such simple ingredients, but it tastes really good.
To get your free sample box, go to kindsnacks.com/cohesivehome. That's kindsnacks.com/cohesivehome. Thank you so much to Kind for sponsoring the Cohesive Home Podcast.
So, Melissa, do you remember what it was like to be a little kid and have huge dreams?
Yeah, and then my parents crushed them.
Yes.
Just kidding.
I lived in such a dream world as a kid, and then I grew up and became a sad adult. No, but seriously, the dreams that we have as children, they really do have value. And likewise, you know, our children's dreams should also be part of the equation when we are planning for the future as a family.
I feel like so many times we talk about ourselves, especially on this podcast, and I think it's going to be fun talking about our childhood dreams and also what our kids dream about.
So, Melissa, I think you've told me a little bit about some of your dreams when you were a kid, but I think you definitely need to share them with everyone.
So I was a very, fun child. My main dreams were to be a flight attendant. I actually wanted to marry a pilot and be a flight attendant with the pilot, and then we could fly together. And I thought this was a great idea. But then my dream was crushed when I found out that, and tell me if I'm wrong, flight attendants who are listening, but I was told that you are not allowed to fly with a spouse that you work with.
Really?
And I was like, oh, yeah. Something about if the plane goes down, it would be bad because there'd be two of you on it. Yeah. So that dream out the door. Next, I really for a very long time wanted to be a famous actress. I just loved movies and loved TV shows as a kid and just adored everything about it. And so with that, I also loved to write scripts. I would write not plays, but movie scripts. And then I would have the famous actors, I would put that in. And then the main one always, since I was a little girl, I wanted to be a mother. So that is something I knew was possible. And then, not to mention, actually, to top it all off, I really wanted to own a monkey. That was my biggest dream, I think. I'm kidding.
The biggest of them all.
Of them all. I wanted to own a monkey.
Where's your monkey now, Melissa?
I don't have one. I have three monkeys. They're called Colin, Berkeley, and Zeke. Just kidding. Well, how about you, Kate? What were yours?
Okay, well, so like you, I also wanted to be an actor, except I did a summer improv camp, and I had this really hard improv coach, and she was really mean, and that just crushed my dreams. So I totally dropped the acting thing. And then my other one that I really wanted was to be a writer, but just not any writer. I wanted to be like Harriet the Spy. So I definitely went through a period where I carried a journal and wrote down my observations about people.
Nice.
I also wanted to be an artist.
Yeah.
I loved to draw when I was little. But I would say my best one was I wanted to be a professional ballroom dancer because I had seen the movie Strictly Ballroom. Anyone?
I've
kind of a weird movie.
That. I've never seen it.
You need to. Oh, it's an oddball movie. It's the director's Baz Luhrmann, so kind of an odd fellow. But yeah, I totally got out the yellow pages after I watched it, and I was like, Mom and Dad, there's a place I can take lessons. And they were like, no, you're not.
Oh my gosh. I did the same thing though with acting.
Really?
I opened up the yellow pages. I remember vividly. I was sitting on my parents' bed, had the yellow pages in front of me, and I found an agent, an acting agent. And I was like,
of course you did.
I want to act. And what did they say? And no.
No.
You are not being an actress. We know what Hollywood is like. You're not going there.
Aww.
So, yeah. So I
And
feel
you
you.
were never the same.
No.
Never the same.
No. So are we actually living out any of these dreams now? Are you, Kate?
Well, I mean, I'm still writing.
Yes, you are.
I don't know how successful I am at it. I don't really write about the people around me so much anymore. But yeah, I would say I'm kind of doing one of my dreams. I still dance a little bit, but not professionally.
Unless you have a secret life I don't know about.
I know. I'm thinking about it. Our daughter had her dance recital in June, and I loved it. And
Yeah.
I turned to my husband, Kirk. I was like, hey, what do you think? Like, our next big dream we go after? I was like, we should get into dancing, like professional ballroom. And he was like, Kate, way too many dreams.
We gotta hone this in a little bit.
We gotta narrow down.
Niche market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Melissa?
Well, obviously I'm a mother, and that has been my greatest joy and accomplishment, I have to say. That is something that, it was funny. When I was really little, I was probably about 4 years old, I had a little baby doll, and my mom, she took it from me, and she was holding it like a little baby, and she looked at me, and she goes, and of course this is me, being told the story because I don't remember, but she says, okay, Melissa, when you have babies, I'm going to come and I'm going to take them so you can have a day by yourself. And I look at her and I was like, no, no, you can't take my babies. So we knew I was very serious about being a mother. So obviously that's one. I'm obviously.
And now you're calling your mom. You're like, Mom, please come take my kids.
Do you remember when you told me you were going to do this? Come and do it. I know I'm kicking my 4-year-old self for saying don't do it.
Right?
No, she is actually very good at that.
Well, Melissa, it's so fun to kind of just talk about our dreams from the past and how they tie into our dreams now and just like what we're doing. But, what about our kids, like our kids' dreams, and how can we just support them and show them that, dreaming is important? Because I would say dreaming leads to doing, mm-hmm. and doing makes things happen, right? So how can we support them?
Right. Because obviously your kids are going to come to you with the craziest things. Like, I want to be an astronaut. And you're like, I don't know what the chances of that happening are. But
let's get an astronomy book.
Exactly. It is doing those things, those small things that support those dreams. And you know what? That kid may not even like doing that, 6 months from now, or have a dream of doing that 6 months from now. But the fact that you didn't shut it down, that you helped support that dream in the tiniest way, it allows them to continue to dream. It doesn't hinder just the joy of dreaming.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, and I think that it's okay for our kids to try new things and to
Yeah.
experiment, because they will learn such great skills from whatever it is that will help them along the way. So like, for example, my oldest daughter she is like super, super into ballet. And she tells me all the time that she wants to be a prima ballerina and she wants to go to the ABT in New York City. And there is this part of me that's like, yeah, that's not going to happen. Like, there's just like, what are the odds, right? I don't say this to her though, because that negative talk would kill her dream. And so instead, we talk about like, well, what would you have to do to reach that? Well, I'd have to practice a lot. Great. Why don't we work on your splits? Why don't we stretch? Why don't you practice, the different ballet positions? And so she's learning that she has to persevere and she has to continue to practice. And I'd say those are two things that like they translate to anything. So, if she doesn't stick with the ballet, she's still learning useful skills.
Yes. Yes. Well, and then I would say on the flip side of that, because as you were saying that, I'm thinking of my oldest, and she is very much in love with ballet, but she's 9. She'll be 10 this year. She's very good. Even her teacher has said, oh, her foot, how her feet bend, they just are perfect for ballet, and I'm like, as a mother, I'm like, yeah.
Dance mom.
I know. Oh my gosh. No, please no. I have produced this child who, she's going to be so good. And so we actually, when we were up there signing her up for this year's ballet class, I said, well, are there any other classes that she could do? Is there? And the teacher was like, yes, actually, she could do this hour-long class that is strictly working on skill. You're not learning any sort of dance. You are just working on the basics of ballet. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll see if I'll talk to my husband and see if we can do that. And so then I mentioned it to Holland and I said, hey, you should do this class. Wouldn't that be great? And she looked at me like, no. I don't want to do that. That's not fun. Like, I don't want to just do that. I just want to do the ballet part, where I get to learn a dance. And I realized, I can't, you can almost over push on dreams.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that either because I know she loves ballet and she wants to do ballet. But you don't want to also push too heavily to where it almost makes it a burden instead of a dream.
Oh, that's such a good point. That was something that I talked to Katrina Onstad about in the interview for the book, The Weekend Effect, about how, like it's become this cultural thing that we need to take those things that our kids are interested in and then push them because like that's going to help them get into college and be successful. Yeah. So like, oh, you love to dance? You better be the best at it. Like you're going to do it 5 times a week. And,
exactly.
Melissa, like you said, your daughter just wants to do it because she loves it. And that's okay. Like we have to leave them space to just enjoy something for the simple pleasure of enjoying it.
So, for our family, both of us now have families of 5 with 3 kids, and I know little Eddie's not sharing his dreams yet, but and honestly, my youngest, he's 6 and all he likes doing is, Star Wars and playing with Legos, which I'm sure that's very common. But I told him the other day, I said, hey, did you know that there's jobs at Lego? And his eyes lit up. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, dude, you could work at Lego someday if you wanted. And so I feel like, when they're young, sometimes you have to share with them really fun things that they can dream about. And so doing that as a family, sharing those dreams with each other and supporting them and encouraging them, I think is so fun. Even if it's just a fleeting moment, and their likes and dislikes, they change so quickly, especially as children. It's still so fun to help them along in those dreams.
Yes. Well, because you could be the one to ignite that spark and help them just see that there are endless possibilities, that we have this, this one relatively short life, and we can do some really amazing things. So like, why not dream? Like, why not explore new ideas and do it as a family?
Yes, exactly. So I will say this is kind of a side note. When we were talking, I kind of thought about this. For those of you that have older children, one thing I always tell incoming freshmen, kids who are going into their freshman year of college, if they've chosen to go to university, I always tell them, okay, don't go in. Well, you can go in with a major, obviously, you can do that. But I say go in and take as many electives as you can, because there might be something that you have never even thought of a career path with. And it might light a spark in you, and you might get really excited about astronomy or something. And that could be a whole new course for your life. So I feel like it doesn't just go for younger children. It can go for older children as well. You got to keep pushing and, instilling, dreaming into their life. Because I feel like as children get older, all I have to go on is my life. You start to get this one track mind of like what you want to do with your life. Like, this is it. But we forget that we can still dream and we can still change that path at any time. So I don't know, it's a little, my 2 cents there.
No, I think it's great, Melissa. And I think, taking a page from our kids and just seeing that the way that they dream and the way that the world is just completely open to them right now. Especially because I do have younger children. I have a 3 and a 6-year-old. So some of the things that they say to me are just wild. But that is because they haven't been shut down by the realities of the world. And I think that's a good place to be. I think we can definitely learn from our children on how to just be inspired and be open to possibilities.
Well, we really hope that this episode encouraged you to not only embrace your dreams, but to dream alongside your children or children you know. We have the ability to create a happier world through the next generation, and it starts with acknowledging that their dreams for the future matter.
We hope that you take some time today and this week to think on what dreams you held as a child, and then to reflect on if those desires are still there. And if so, how can you meet them? This life is too short to not go after what matters most. And as we have said so many times in the past, Melissa and I are with you all the way.
Yes, and soon we actually plan to share a resource with you all that will help you do exactly that. But more on that later. Before we go today, one final word from today's sponsor. Support for Cohesive Home comes from Kind, makers of healthy and delicious snacks that are made without genetically engineered ingredients, right here in the United States. To try 10 Kind bars for free, and all you have to do is pay shipping, go to kindsnacks.com/cohesivehome. That's kindsnacks.com/cohesivehome for all the details.
We hope that this podcast is adding value to your life. And if it is, will you leave us a review on iTunes? Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you this Friday with another Q&A to kick off your weekend right.